I will be resigning the position and enabling a new Liberal leader to be elected, someone who will then become the Premier of New South Wales.
It was the shock. It was the I can't believe this has happened. You know, how's it happened? What does it mean? And you know, once I started to understand events, and then people started saying, well, you need to be prepared to step up now.
The next election is so important that Labor must be united behind the leader. I have chosen to step aside as Labor leader to give Labor this opportunity.
Whilst people had talked to me in the past about potentially leading the party one day, it was always hypothetical and off in the never-never, if you like. And then without warning, suddenly I had a decision to make. I knew that a majority of the party wanted me to step up to the leadership. How are you?
Good, man.
Good to see you.
See you too.
Welcome to Olympic Park.
Thank you. It's a beautiful day.
This is my neighbourhood.
Yeah, it's lovely. Your neck of the woods.
That's it. After an electoral defeat, the job of the shadow ministers is to talk the party back to relevance. You know, to assess the challenges facing the state and get up and talk about Labor's solutions. That's what I've tried to do. I was very candid about this on the night Labor lost government on TV, commentating on the election result, the heaviest defeat in Labor's history. I said, look, I think this was a very good government for 12 years. That became a poor government in its fourth term. You just got to be honest about that. Just have to be honest.
You famously said that you're a reluctant Labor leader. Tell me how your life has changed.
Well, it's obviously a lot busier. So it's the diary commitments that mean I'm not at home as often as I'd like, but that's not unique to me or to politics. There's so many people in our state juggling a busy professional life with family commitments, a desire to spend more time with the kids. But it's also just the exposure. I mean, there's now really no parts of my life off limits. You know, that goes with the territory. That was something I had to think about before I stepped up.
Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. I know you're especially close to your mother, and that she raised you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there's just my sister and me and Mum. We didn't see our dad after we were about 7 or 8. And you know, Mum gave us a terrific upbringing. You know, she sacrificed a bit, as single parents tend to do, but we didn't want for anything. You know, it was a good childhood. She taught me my faith in 3 institutions, I said in my first speech to Parliament: the Labor Party, the Catholic Church, and the particular rugby league team our family follows. No one was ever involved in the Labor Party until me, but it was a Labor household. It was a Labor voting, Labor supporting family.
Try and take you back to your upbringing. What was it like being the son of a prominent politician? Was he around as much as you would have liked him to have been?
No, I mean definitely not. I think as I reflect back as a son in that environment, watching, I was very proud of what my father was doing. But at the same time, and you know, Saturday sport and other moments, I'd often there look across at the sideline and you know, know that he wasn't there. And I found that hard at times, but I never ever regretted what he did. I was very proud of it, and I really wanted him to do the best he could, and I think he did.
That kind of upbringing where you were going from country to country, suburb to suburb, did they provide you with the stability that you needed as a child, do you think? Or?
Well, I think it does. It's one of two things. It either gives you the experiences and the confidence to meet new people regularly, or people go into their shell because there's so many changes. And luckily I think I was the former. I mean, I just had an opportunity to meet so many different people and enjoy so many different cultures, and particularly to play so many different sports. That's what I loved. I love playing sport.
What sports did you play, or what did you get into?
Oh, there isn't a sport that I haven't given it a whirl. But I mean, no, the US, I loved baseball. I mean, played American football. Played soccer. But you know, back here, I love my cricket, love my surfing, love running, love golf, tennis. Used to play. I mean, anything. You know.
I know that you're a big sports buff. Tell me about some of the memories that you have maybe in that stadium right over there.
Well, I think the two highlights would be Cathy Freeman's run at the 2000 Olympics. I was in the stadium for that. And my personal favourite, the night in 2005 when the Socceroos qualified for the World Cup in that Uruguay game, and the penalty shootout, and Schwartz's saves, Aloisi taking the shirt off. We were on the fence.
You're there for it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes, I'm here a fair bit.
I just want to take you back to what you mentioned about your faith, your Catholicism. How does that underpin who you are as a public figure?
My faith's private. I don't seek to make a song and dance about it, and I'd never seek to impose it on anyone. I'm a Catholic, I'm honest about that, so are 25% of people in this state are Catholics. But I have to be honest and declare who I am. My Catholic faith is part of who I am. I don't seek to impose it on anyone else, but people deserve to know the full picture about me.
So I've read that you were a deeply religious teenager. What does that actually mean? Did you experiment with different kind of philosophies, or was Christianity always your faith?
I haven't heard myself described that way before, particularly as a teenager. No, I was brought up in a Christian family, but I think it really became real to me in about year 12. So towards the end of my teenage years, when I decided that I wanted to make that a very serious part of my life, and it has been ever since.
So do you agree with Luke Foley that this is essentially a referendum, this election will be essentially a referendum on privatisation?
No, I don't. I think it's really a question of, you know, do we want this city and this state to continue to wait for the public transport? I mean, the Second Harbour Rail crossing means there's 60% more capacity. The increased motorways that we're providing, which what that means is that people on a daily basis have a chance to get to work quicker and get home to their family quicker. And that's what this is about. It's about, can we deal with the congestion that we're sitting here knowing is crippling our city? Or do we want to keep it the same for a generation to come? And I think that's what it's about. And that also includes the capacity to deal with provide our hospitals and schools that we need in our growth regions. In regional New South Wales, it means a capacity to improve the regional highways, places like the Newell Highway, and provide water into our drought-stricken areas. I mean, those are the projects that the state needs, and everyone knows they need them. The difference is we've got a capacity to fund them and get on with them. So, to me, that's what it is. And yes, how we funded them, undertaking a lease of 49% of our businesses, take the rent, build the infrastructure, grow the economy. It's a pretty simple equation, and the scare campaigns are there, but they have no substance.
I'll be telling a story through the campaign of my values, what drives me, and then the policy priorities that come out of those values. So I'm fond of saying my values never change, they're timeless. I'm in the Labor Party because I believe in a fair go for all, a decent life for everyone, a helping hand for those who need it most in life. I'm focused on leading a party of solutions, and I know I'll get a fair hearing. Australians are a fair people. I know I'll get a fair hearing from people right across this state.
Well, I mean, I think anyone that's opposition leader has done well, because they've got support of their party and stakeholders to get to a position that they've been asked to be leader, and you have to respect that. So, I mean, of course I respect him as an opponent, and you know, I do expect a tough fight.